There will be a short version of this as well on YouTube, so maybe check out the short version if this video is too long for you. Hello gamers and welcome to my channel. I'm Katsuma Gaming. The long-awaited third anniversary banner in the Konosuba Fantastic Days Global version is finally here, and yes, this is the 3.5 anniversary banner in the JP version, but you know, it is what it is. And we are getting two really cool units, aka we are getting Fantastic, Adventure, Aqua and Darkness. These units not only have a special ultimate, they also have animated live 3D particles, which is really cool, and also have a special story that if you watch it unlocks a specific background that of course fits really well with them. So if you are a collector, if you just like different backgrounds, if you want to see the particle system in action, stuff like that, you know, they're really cool. But before we actually check them out, in this video I want to talk about first of course the units themselves. What is their kit? What is their special ultimate? Are they worth it? Should you summon them not? And afterwards I want to go through all the current banners and just talk about them real quick. Which of these banners I would recommend you to summon on if you actually decide to pull on this. And yes, I will also talk about beginner people. So if you are a newish player and are down to, you know, pull a bit or maybe even invest a bit, this video should get you covered. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. First unit that I want to talk about is of course Fantastic Aqua. And again, quick reminder, the ranking here in the encyclopedia is for single target and the JP meta. So don't look at it for a global perspective, it will not tell you much. This is purely for JP and again only for single target. If you're curious more about the unit in AoE in the JP version, check out the JP AoE tier list to get a more detailed insight. Okay, with that out of the way, let's first actually talk about her Fantastic ultimate. And yes, it says Fantasy Fest because in the JP version we are calling them Fantasy Fest units. In global it's Fantastic Festival or Adventure units, whatever you want to call it. Her special ulti is a water AoE magic attack ulti that deals 260% water damage to all enemies, provides your team with additional fixed water damage for 8 seconds, and a self tier 1 magic attack buff EX. And again, EX buff is a separate kind of buff. They can coexist with normal buffs, so even if you already have a tier 3 magic attack boost, that tier 1 magic attack EX buff will still get applied. And this already gives you a hint on how this Aqua works. Fixed on-hit damage means of course you want to hit as many enemies as possible and as often as possible just to trigger the bonus damage as much as possible. And the magic attack boost is really interesting here because compared to normal Aquas that have physical kit and only her ulti 2 is magical attack, this Aqua is actually a pure magical unit. Her basic is an AoE water basic, her first skill is an AoE water magic attack, and her second skill is also a random double hit magic attack. She is a pure magical unit from front to back. So if you want to think grind her everything into magical attack and you don't need physical attack whatsoever, you can actually go into resistance. And also for her subs, you kind of want to regrind the units to have full magic attack, and with that mostly just fast Aqua. And I think Emilia would be like the two best options here to fully grind the magic attack. And for fast Aqua you can actually go with like magical attack and then physical attack, so you don't need to fully regrind. And yes, you will lose a little bit of resistance, but it's fine. Okay, now let's actually talk about her kit. First up, a passive trait, 7% water damage up to 14% if 70% HP or more. She doesn't have a healing herself, so you kind of want her with a healer, like for example Fast Cecily, which works great with her. You always have the passive up, which just allows her to do a lot of damage. Her basic deals 95 magic damage to all enemies. Really great for AoE stuff, actually rather mad for single target arenas. Then the first skill is an AoE magic attack skill with HP condition to deal up to 121 magical water damage and provides a self tier 3 agility buff for 12 seconds with an 18 seconds cooldown. So quick math calculations, you need 6 seconds of CDR to in theory have the buff up on yourself the whole time. The second skill is a 2x random magic attack skill that deals 195 damage 2 times on a 17 second cooldown. I talked about it before, but you can clearly see it. this is a pure magic attack Aqua, which has some interesting pros, but also some really interesting cons. First up, of course, pros. She has a lot of AoE damage. In water AoE areas, she's really good. She can provide a lot of damage, but she's also really selfish unit. The only thing she provides for her team is the fixed damage. Nothing else, no healing, no magic attack boost, no defense down, nothing, just a pure on-hit damage, which is fine in itself, but means she's less likely to stay in the future, and that is exactly what happened to her in the JP version. In the future, if we are getting collabs more regularly, she will get replaced rather sooner than later. I think with the Harvey collab, she was fully gone. Even before that, we had the Mushoku Tensei collab with Roxy, and Roxy is also really solid water mage. So, but worst case or best case, I would say, in global will be in 1 year the release of Fantasy Wiz that will really likely just make Aqua non-existent anymore. So she has a lifetime of roughly a year, I would assume. Maybe a little bit shorter depending on how we are getting collabs, but I would think 1 year seems fine. So yeah, for the 1 year, she's great to have. Afterwards, she's pretty much whatever. And of course, since she's a pure magical unit, you are kind of forced to regrind your subs back and forth between using them for normal aquas or this aqua. Luckily, you can use Immediate, so only one unit, aka Fest aqua, needs to be regrinded, and that is doable, but it can be a little bit annoying. But all in all, strong damage. She looks awesome. She has cool particle effects. I really like her. But meta-wise, I think she's good to have, a nice to have, but not a must pull. Now, let's move over to Darkness. Again, let's start off with her special ulti. It's a single target physical attack skill, neutral damage, by the way, that deals 572% damage, gives herself 8 seconds of CDR, and it provides an additional fixed up tier 2 earth damage for 14 seconds. And she also has normal accuracy as usual with the Vanir ulti. So yes, instead of having AoE fixed damage, it's self, but for that it's a tier 2, so each on-hit damage does more. I think it lasts even longer with like 14 seconds compared to the 8 seconds of Aqua. So that's a trade-off, increase even more self-damage, but have even less team buffs. Same thing is, of course, if we take a look in her kit, but we start off from the front, right? So first up, 6% physical attack passive rate, up to 12% if 70% HP or more. Great, just for that alone as a sub for other darknesses. Great for other units that can use darkness as a sub, mostly collab units. And, you know, great for herself. Her basic is 105 earth damage, single target, with the 5% gauge up charge. And her first skill is a 3 times random physical attack skill, deals 80% 3 times. It's actually a really low multiplier, but in exchange for that is a self tier 2 agility boost for 12 seconds on a 22 seconds cooldown. So we would need 10 seconds of CDR to keep the speed buff up the whole time. And the second skill is a 3 times random physical attack skill that deals 164 damage 3 times. So there's the big damage numbers. Also on a 22 second cooldown. I think you can also really see where this darkness is going. No team buffs whatsoever. 0 team buffs, but a lot of self damage. Especially if you have to ulti up and trigger the 3 times hit, you know, both skills. That's, I don't know, 6,000 base damage, 36k bonus damage with the 2 skills, even more if the enemy has a tier 2 Rashford on them, and even more if there's like an EX Rashford or in a future tier 3 Rashford on them. Really good self damage, but no team support, and it's actually really hard to build a team around her, because in theory you don't need a speed boost since she has a self speed boost, but the other units don't have a speed boost, so you still kind of want to have a speed boost. You still need a physical attack buffer, you need CDR, you need actually a lot of CDR on her. I mean, yes, her ulti gives herself 6 seconds of CDR, so you only need another 4 seconds of CDR, which is doable. You can just stack a lot of gauge up on her. But it's still a little bit weird to build teams around her. You also want to have a lot of gauge up on her to spam her ulti. If you go full support on her, you don't have that much damage left on your team. You also, of course, need a Rashford, so, you know, it's a little bit hard to play around. In a JP version, she actually was already power crap by Accelerator. You could use her to great success, but if you had Accelerator, you can just do the same level-ish. So without Accelerator in global version, she actually will see a lot more use. But of course, the moment we are getting better team support units that can also do more damage, she will fall off hard. Speaking of, the next banner after this one, I think, will actually give us school units, so School Komiko and School Lolisa. And small spoiler, the Lolisa will work really great with this Darkness because, of course, she can buff. She also has, I think, a tier 3 gauge hub for your team, so that should help your Darkness spam her ulti even more often and potentially allows you to spam your ulti more often, get your skills up more often, and be a really solid solo DPS unit. But yeah, that also means you kind of want to pull on the next banner as well, which makes, I think, your priority a little bit less. If you want to pull on both banners, then of course, feel free to do so. But if you pull for Darkness, I highly recommend pulling for the Lolisa as well, because it makes her so much better, because you can just use her so much easier. If you don't have the Lolisa, you can still use her, but it will be harder to build around, or you have to, you know, make some trade-offs of how you want to build your team. Okay, with that out of the way, here is my final verdict of these units. They are both in the strong units tier for now. They have some competition in the JP version that doesn't exist in the global version, so I can see them being really good. But they have clear downsides that you need to keep in mind, aka Aqua only really good in AoE arenas, and even then she doesn't have the best teammates. Yes, Cecily works, but she only has one AoE skill, so she can't abuse the bonus damage that much. We don't have a water AoE Rashford unit, that is kind of missing. We can use something like Xmas Lolisa, or for example New Year Wiz or Christmas Komiko. All of them can work decently enough. It's not like the best team. There are collab units behind that, and if we are getting collab units, there's also a real possibility that she gets power crap more easily. So for now, good, but not a must pull, not the highest priority. Same with Darkness. Right now she's good, especially if you pull for the Lolisa. I think she's a good unit to have, but I also don't think she will have that long-lasting future. We have to see. Maybe global will handle things different. Maybe in global they have more staying power with no collapse or the late collapse. But for now, I think the strong unit here is the best play. And with that, let's actually talk about the different banners, and if you want to pull on, which banner you should pull on, and if you don't want to pull on these units, which banner you should save your quartz for. First, let's go through the banners. And for that, I actually have Discord on the side open. I will not show Discord, I will actually show the game so you can see which banners I'm talking about. We have, of course, the normal banner, right? If you really want to secure these units, I think pulling on a normal banner is actually your best chance, because the more you pull a normal banner, the more easily you can actually reach pity. That's a general tip I would give. If you really want a unit, skip the paid banners. Yes, you could get them sooner or later there. You could save your quartz, but you could also do all of these and pull a normal banner and still need to go to 250 pulls and get nothing. So pull on this banner is the best chance to guarantee one of the units if that is your goal. Otherwise, of course, we have a step-up banner, which is decent, I would say. So keep in mind, step 1 and 2 does nothing for you. Step 3 has a 5% chance, which is an upgrade compared to normal banner. Step 4 and 5 also have a pretty major upgrade. The one big grain of salt I have with the step-up banner is the next fantasy unit is coming in 3 months or 2.5 months, whatever you want to call it. And there will be another step-up banner with the same thing, aka rate up on every fantastic festival unit. So if you skip this step-up banner, if you skip this banner in general, you have a great chance to just get them, especially if you do the step-up banner, off-rate in the next banner. And with next banner, I mean, of course, the next fantastic banner, right? And the more fantastic units drop, the more chances you actually have to get these old units. Yes, there may be less use cases than for them, but you can still get them that way. So I think for now, if you really want to do it, if you have to pay quartz, feel free to do it. It's great. But if you are a low spender, I would say actually skip this step-up banner and preferably just do the next step up with the next fantastic unit. Sorry. We have this banner here, which is so good. I will probably do it. And by the way, I will do the summons live tomorrow on twitch.tv/KatsumaGaming or here on YouTube. So if you don't want to miss it out, follow there. Stream should start at like 5 p.m. UTC +2, I think, so aka German time. I don't have the time zones for you all out there, but you can just convert it easily, so that's that. But yeah, this is a really cool banner, because this banner includes every unit until the 3rd Anniversairy. And with the third Anniversairy, I mean 2.5-ish, whatever it was called in the global version, not sure. AKA the one you see here with Tokyo units, Tokyo, Aqua, Megumi, Darkness, Wisp. Every unit up until that point is in there. So that means you can exchange the ticket for, let's say, Xmas Lisa, Xmas Aqua, Xmas Komeko, the Anniversary units itself, because, well, besides the fast units. I think fast units are not included, but like Halloween Lisa, Halloween Megumi, Halloween Aqua, Are that was in the Forbidden Aqua banner. Like every limited unit besides Forbidden and Fantasy units and the special limited units like Sesta and Funidodo are in there to select, and that is just a lot of units. So either if you're a collector, if you're missing some older meta units, this is a great chance. So I highly recommend going for this banner. And of course, through the initial multi, you can get some stuff as well. So, you know, maybe get lucky and get more cool stuff. But this is so good. I really recommend doing it. Even if you don't know what to get the ticket, wait until you need any of these older units and just exchange then. It's totally fine. You can save the ticket for when you need it. But this is so good. I highly recommend it. Then, of course, we have the 2K banner where you get a skill potion on top of it. And it's cheaper. If you don't plan to hit pity and you have paid wards, this is a great banner to pull on. But if you want to reach, or if you're down to reach pity, I would go with the other one. Then we have a guaranteed character festival banner. If you're not sure what the rates look like, feel free to just check out this banner here, scroll through it and see how it is. You can see there are a lot of units in there, including Sesta, Funidodo, and the fast units. On a normal, the last one is, I think, the guaranteed 4-star. Scroll down here. Yeah, you can see this is guaranteed 4-star, and you can see all units, or like a lot of units is in there. So if you want a fast unit, it's not guaranteed here. Keep that in mind. The ticket will guarantee you a fast unit though, so that's at least something. The ticket will only give you a limited amount of units. In this ticket, it's random. You can get Fast Aqua, Megumi, Wiz, Chris, Union, Iris, Cecily, Leah, and Lisa. If you need a lot of them, it might be a good chance because there are a lot of really good fast units in there. Union, Chris, Cecily, Iris, even Leah is still good, and Fast Aqua, of course. Like only Wiz, to some extent, Megumi, but she's still decent in the passive trade. A lot of them are really good, so if you miss a lot of them, it's good. For example, I only missed Lisa out of that, so that would be a 1 in 8 or something like that chance to get that one specific unit. For me, it's not good, but if you can use it, it's a chance. Since we have the Power 1 fast banner, this is also a limited pool, if I remember correctly. Aqua, Megumi, Wiz, Chris, Union, Iris, Cecily, Leah, Lisa. The same that you can actually choose from. If you need fast units, you want to pull on that, that's good banner. For me, it's an easy skip. Speaking of, by the way, for new people, if you need fast units, it might be worth to pull on this banner. Again, there are a lot of really good fast units in there. Almost all of them is a great pickup for your account. So there's also 2K banner for that. This is also a really cool banner if you have 10 units that you're missing. Again, to explain how this banner works, you can select 10 units from all the units in there. So for example, for me, you can see here do not own. This is a unit I'm missing. You can select up to 10 units. And if you have a total of 10 units that you can select in here and put in here, let's say just like boom, 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 boom. I will not do it, so just to showcase, you can select these 10 units. And what that allows you is, if you do the multi, one of these 10 units is guaranteed to appear. So the moment you miss 10 units and you're happy with each of these 10 units to grab, this banner is a great pickup. But of course, only if the 10 units are worth it. For example, like me, I think I only missed like 9 units, and then the Aura and the Iris are permanent units. It's not like I really need them. I really want to have them. I don't think it's worth it because, you know, getting a permanent unit out of there is nice, but I don't think it's worth the 4K paid quartz, which is a lot hefty fee. So only really do it if you're missing limited units, aka if there are like enough fast units, the fantasy or fantastic units, and Sesta, Funidodo out there that you still need, then feel free to go so. We have the guaranteed fast free recruit, which is nice to have, Sally. It only goes down to, I think, the idols. So 2.5 anniversary in JP, the second anniversary or so in global, whatever it was called. I already have all of them, so it doesn't really matter too much for me. But for you guys who missed some of this is really cool. We have the strong start banner, which can seem like a scam, but could also be really cool because you can now select Claire. and 1 4-star is guaranteed. So if you don't have Claire, for 500 pay quartz, you can guarantee yourself OG Claire. I think these are like all the banners that I can show off. There's one more banner for new people, which is a special fast banner, where you can also get some cool stuff. Novice limited, 1 4-star guaranteed character selection recruit. So this is another selection recruit for 3000 pay quartz, so a little cheaper than the one we have, where all of the fast units are in there. I think Cesta and Funidora are not in there, so keep that in mind. But generally speaking, if you want to have some cool fast units, that's at least 1 guaranteed, maybe more, so that's really, really cool. And yeah, these are all the banners that you can pull for. If none of these banners interest you and you want to know, hey Katsuma, what is the next big meta banner that you should pull on? I have for you 2 answers, maybe 3, depending on how I want to count it. First up, the next banner is pretty good. We are getting a new Comico that is actually just Xmas Aqua 2.0, which also allows you to run Halloween Aqua as the team passive trait unit again. And with that, it's a solid pickup, especially again if you also want the Lisa, since you have the Darkness. Really good banner to pull on. If you have neither of those or you don't care about lightning, this is a skip. The next one would be the next Forbidden banner, aka Forbidden Union. She's such a strong fire mage, it's ridiculous how good she is. She works with so many units because of what she provides. And with that, I think that's the next big banner that I personally will pull on. Besides, of course, throwing a few pulls here on this banner on the live stream tomorrow. So again, make sure you don't miss it out. That's the one big banner you should save for, especially if you miss other forbidden units, like for example, the Chris. You have a great chance to get her along the way. So that's the next big one. And if that also doesn't interest you, the next big banner to pull on will more likely or not be the 3.75 or 3.25 in global potentially banner that has Fast Mitsurugi. Yes, Fast Mitsurugi is finally coming, and Fantasy or Fantastic Iris. And Iris is a really, really good fantasy / fantastic unit. So if you don't want to miss these banner guys and more information on that, feel free to like, subscribe, follow for more cool content. There should also be an arena guide dropping later today, so make sure you also check it out if you need help with team buildings and stuff like that. This is everything I have to tell, already a longer video than I wanted to. That's it from my side. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helps you out, and see you all in the next one. Bye!
だから一緒に行きましょう